Breaking news just hit the Dallas streets and has the entire internet on edge because in a twist nobody saw coming, Yella Beezy has officially missed a court hearing tied to the Mo3 murder case, and the timing couldn't be more emotional, tragic, and suspicious all at once. According to court documents and insiders close to the situation, Beezy was scheduled to appear for a crucial pre-trial hearing this week, one that prosecutors allegedly warned was non-negotiable. But just 24 hours before he was set to appear, word broke that Yella's mother had suddenly passed away. Now fans are left torn between sympathy and suspicion. Is Yella Beezy genuinely grieving a devastating loss, or is this an intentional delay tactic as pressure builds around one of the most high-profile street beef cases in Texas hip-hop history? Even crazier, just days before her passing, Beezy's mom reportedly posted a cryptic message on Facebook. "Sometimes silence speaks louder than guilt. Let God judge." Screenshots of the post started circulating immediately, with fans speculating that she may have known something or someone was closing in. And with the court postponing the hearing without rescheduling it, whispers are growing louder that Beezy's legal team might be planning a major move behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Mo3's supporters are furious, some calling it disrespectful, others accusing the system of favoritism. Tension in the Dallas rap scene is boiling over again, and now, all eyes are back on Beezy, not just for his missing court date, but for what comes next. The energy in Dallas has been tense for months, but when news hit that Yella Beezy missed his pre-trial hearing, the one connected to the Mo3 murder case, people knew something was off. This wasn't just any missed court date. This was the hearing prosecutors had reportedly been building towards for almost a year, one that could determine if Beezy would be officially named in further proceedings or dismissed from suspicion altogether. The kind of appearance that turns whispers into headlines or vanishes them forever. But Beezy never showed. Instead, the story dropped that his mother had passed away. The media ran with it. Yella Beezy grieves after tragic loss, one headline read. Court delays hearing out of respect, another added. Fans were quick to send prayers and condolences, but others, they weren't buying it. Because the timing wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Less than a week before the hearing, insiders had already begun talking about a shift in the DA's attitude, that they were circling back on old evidence. That new witness testimony might be introduced. Some even said the court was ready to unseal certain records that had previously been kept confidential in the interest of public safety. And then, boom. Yella Beezy's mom passes and the court date evaporates into thin air. Even more unsettling, that Facebook post she made days before her death. Sometimes silence speaks louder than guilt. Let God judge, it was just cryptic enough to cause chaos. Fans immediately started theorizing. Did she know something? Was it guilt? Was it warning? And most disturbingly, was her death really natural? Bloggers dove in headfirst. Old interviews, family photos, even random church videos were being pulled and analyzed. One local YouTube page posted a deep dive titled, "Did Yella Beezy's mom try to protect him or expose him?" Within 24 hours, it had over 300,000 views and hundreds of wild comments. Speaking head, she definitely knew something. That post was a final message. Speaking head, they always take the people who know too much. Speaking head, I feel bad for her, but this don't feel like coincidence. Meanwhile, Beezy stayed silent. No post, no video, no statement. Just one shared Instagram story with a black screen and a white dove emoji. That silence only made the speculation worse. Mo3's fanbase, still reeling from his murder years later, wasn't here for the sympathy. Emotions ran high on Twitter. Supporters said Beezy missing court was disrespectful not just to the process, but to Mo3's legacy. Some claimed it was a delay tactic. Others went further, accusing the court of giving Beezy special treatment as if grief automatically gave him a pass. One viral tweet read, "If this was someone from Mo3's camp, they'd be in cuffs by now. Facts." That same night, an anonymous source from inside the Dallas County Courthouse told a blogger that Beezy's legal team filed an emergency continuance, citing emotional distress due to a close family death. It was granted without public objection. Now here's where things get messier. A well-known Dallas promoter came forward claiming he'd spoken with someone from Beezy's circle just hours after the court delay. According to him, they weren't talking about grief. They were talking about strategy. "I overheard it myself," he told the press in a leaked voice note. "They was like, we bought ourselves 2 more weeks, now we fix the narrative." The narrative part set the internet ablaze. People started wondering, what was the narrative, what were they trying to fix? Because if Beezy was truly innocent and had nothing to do with the long-swirling conspiracy theories around Mo3's murder, what was left to fix? And that's when people began revisiting Beezy's past statements. In a now resurfaced interview from a year after Mo3's death, Beezy had said, "They tried to tie my name to it 'cause of old beef. But I wasn't even in the same mindset no more. That man was on his own wave." But was that the truth, or just smoke? A close friend of Mo3, who goes by D-Raw, went live on IG shortly after Beezy's missed hearing. In the video, D-Raw was visibly emotional, pacing, voice cracking. "Y'all keep saying let that man grieve, but what about the grieving we've been doing since 2020, he said. "You know how many nights Mo's mama done cried herself to sleep and the system steady playing games?" He paused, then added, "And if y'all think his mama didn't feel that court delay in her soul, you lying to yourself. They keep acting like time heals, time hiding." Fans flooded his comments with support. Some even started tagging Mo3's family members, asking them to speak out. But as of now, they've stayed quiet, just like Beezy. But someone else didn't. A woman claiming to be Beezy's cousin went live in a Facebook group the day after the news broke. She didn't name names, but what she did say only added fuel to the fire. "I ain't gone, hold you. A lot of y'all don't know what really been going on behind the scenes," she said. "But this ain't just music. This is real people, real pain, and real secrets." She looked around before continuing. "And sometimes them secrets, they come out when the wrong people die." That line alone sent shockwaves through the comments. Speaking head WHAT secrets. Speaking head, who's she talking about? Beezy's mom. Speaking head, this case deeper than we think. At the same time, another strange detail emerged. Allegedly, Beezy's mom had been scheduled to testify in an unrelated civil case involving a music publishing dispute. Some people started speculating whether that case, though unrelated to Mo3, might have intersected with people from Dallas's music underworld who had everything to lose if more light got shed. Now bloggers were doing overtime. One even released a breakdown titled, "Everything Yella Beezy's Mom Knew and Why Her Death Changed Everything." In it, the creator claimed she had access to unreleased documents hinting at conversations between Beezy's mom and his management about clearing his name publicly before things go too far. Was that her goal before her passing? To protect her son, or to confess what she knew before it was too late? And then, just to twist the knife, Mo3's manager reposted a photo of Mo3 with the caption, "The truth don't die, it just waits for its moment." No tags. No explanation, but it felt like a message. All of this court silence, missing testimony, cryptic posts, has now pushed Beezy's name back into the courtroom of public opinion. The same courtroom he dodged by missing his official one. But what fans don't know yet is that the rescheduled hearing, it's not just about Beezy showing up. Insiders claim the next court session might include a new witness, someone close to both artists. Someone who's allegedly been sitting in silence for years, scared to speak out. And now, with the timing of Beezy's mom's death and rising online pressure, they might be ready to take the stand. The rumors of a surprise witness sent shockwaves through the already fractured Dallas rap scene. Nobody wanted to believe it, but too many insiders were whispering the same name behind closed doors. The person prosecutors were allegedly bringing to the stand next, a woman who hadn't been seen in the public eye since the immediate fallout of Mo3's murder. Someone who used to be close, real close, to both Yella Beezy and Mo3 at different times. Her name, Brielle. Now, if you know the history, then you know Brielle wasn't just some bystander. She had once been seen backstage at both Beezy's and Mo3's shows. Fans speculated for years that she had romantic ties to both at separate points, though nothing was ever confirmed. What was confirmed was her presence, always in the background, never saying much, but always somehow nearby when things started spiraling. After Mo3's death, Brielle vanished from the public eye. No interviews, no social media, no statements, but suddenly, after Beezy's court delay, her name reappeared in sealed court filings, and leaked DMs claimed she was in contact with prosecutors through a private attorney. That attorney, known for flipping high-risk witnesses and placing them into protection. Word on the street was she saw something, maybe not the murder itself, but a conversation, a confession, or worse, a setup. One anonymous blog posted what it claimed was a transcript of a statement Brielle allegedly gave under sealed deposition. "I didn't think it would go that far. I thought it was just talk, just ego and music stuff. But when I heard what was being planned, I should have said something. That single quote blew the internet wide open. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Speaking head, Brielle knew. Speaking head, she the missing piece in this whole thing. Speaking head, yo, this finna be worse than we thought. But the deeper twist came when a separate blog revealed that Brielle had reached out to Mo3's mother months after his death. The two reportedly exchanged private texts and had a phone call that no one knew about until now. One line from that alleged conversation: "I should have protected him. I should have said something before it was too late." That quote had fans in shambles, because for the first time, someone wasn't just mourning Mo3, they were admitting regret, guilt, and now possibly ready to speak up in court. Meanwhile, Yella Beezy's team was scrambling behind the scenes. Legal insiders said a motion had been filed to suppress any new testimony that wasn't previously disclosed, but the judge hadn't ruled on it. Which means when court resumed, Brielle could very well walk in and break the case wide open. This development didn't just shake Beezy's camp, it shook the entire Dallas scene, because Brielle wasn't just a woman connected to these artists. She was tied to other players too, producers, promoters, street-level individuals whose names never made it to the headlines, but whose actions shaped the events leading up to Mo3's tragic end. And it wasn't just her. Two other potential witnesses were rumored to be in talks as well. One, a former DJ who worked closely with both camps. The other, a studio engineer who claimed to have overheard a conversation months before Mo3's death that sounded like a warning. That engineer, whose identity is being kept under wraps, allegedly told someone, "They wasn't planning a song, they was planning silence." Those 5 words became the new title for dozens of videos across YouTube. Planning Silence, the truth behind Beezy and Mo3's final days. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more intense, a chilling piece of audio surfaced. It was from a studio session just weeks before Mo3's death, Unreleased. The clip, barely 45 seconds long, featured muffled voices, one of which fans swear belonged to Beezy, talking in coded language. "If he keep talking, it's gon' be us or him. Then make sure it ain't us." That audio has not been authenticated. Beezy's team denied it immediately, calling it a deepfake designed to manipulate public opinion. But the damage was done. Fans believed it, and worse, it lined up with the energy of a post Mo3 made just a few days later. "Snakes smile in yo face when they already wrote your ending." The post now reads like a prophecy. Mo3's manager, clearly paying attention to the rising chaos, made another statement online, this time a short video. "No matter how much time passes, justice gone, spin the block, it might be slow, but it don't miss," he said. "And for anyone who thinks delaying court is delaying karma, you wrong." The clip went viral. Celebs commented, other artists reposted it. But Beezy, still no response. Some sources say he's barely communicating with his team. That he's withdrawn, focused only on surviving the storm. One alleged associate said Beezy's trust is shattered. He don't know who to talk to no more. He think everybody leaking, everybody watching. And maybe he's right. Because the leaks haven't stopped. Just last night, an anonymous message board posted a screenshot of what appears to be a conversation between Beezy and a well-known Dallas promoter from 2 years ago. The message, a simple sentence: "If anything happens, you ain't see me that night." Fans lost it. Was that tied to Mo3? Was it something else? Is it even real? Nobody knows. But with each leak, Beezy's name gets heavier, darker, harder to defend. And the court still hasn't rescheduled the hearing. Word is, the delay has triggered a quiet investigation by the DA's office into whether or not Beezy's excuse for missing court was legitimate. Some legal commentators suggest they're trying to determine if he exaggerated or manipulated the timing of his mother's passing to buy time. That alone, if proven, could trigger a contempt charge or worse, imply obstruction. And now, with Brielle allegedly set to testify and new audio clips swirling, Beezy's next court appearance won't just be about showing up. It will be about survival in the courtroom, in the industry, and in the streets. Because word is, not everyone's cool with how quiet he's been. Not just fans, not just Mo3's people, but his own circle. One anonymous source close to Beezy said it plainly. He thought silence would protect him, but silence just gave the rest of the city time to reload. As the court silence dragged on, pressure started mounting, not just on Yella Beezy, but on the entire infrastructure that had kept him insulated for years. Because while the streets debated guilt and innocence, the industry was scrambling behind the scenes to preserve whatever was left of his image. But that effort, it was already cracking. Multiple sources from Beezy's label, an affiliate under a major distribution deal, claimed internal tensions had exploded following his missed court date. Apparently, executives were split. One side reportedly wanted to distance the brand entirely, fearing the backlash could affect upcoming releases from other artists. The other side, trying to protect one of their biggest investments. And make no mistake, Beezy was an investment. He wasn't just an artist. He was a product backed by marketing teams, PR handlers, and even corporate sponsorships quietly betting on his crossover appeal. Now all of that was in jeopardy and boardroom conversations were turning hostile. One leaked email exchange between two execs allegedly said, "We can't carry this on our backs if it gets uglier. If he can't clear his name publicly, we're out." That message made its way to the streets quickly, and it didn't take long before fans noticed something strange. Yella Beezy's newest track, set to release that week, was suddenly missing from streaming platforms' promotional banners. No playlist features, no homepage banners, just silence. To make things worse, a major Dallas rapper who once collaborated with Beezy multiple times appeared on a podcast and delivered a subtle but clear message. When asked about the case, he paused, then said, "I don't speak on what I don't know, but what I do know is the city hurtin', and if you ain't helpin' that healing, you in the way." He didn't name Beezy, he didn't have to. Comments flooded the clip within minutes. "Speaking head, that's about Beezy. He washed his hands." "Speaking head, if even he backing off, you know it's bad." "Speaking head, ain't no industry cover saving you now, Beezy." Meanwhile, the whispers about Brielle's potential testimony reached a new level of tension. After staying in the shadows for years, she was allegedly preparing to appear in court with legal protection. But then, out of nowhere, she went silent again. According to an anonymous source within the DA's office, Brielle's lawyer informed prosecutors that her client had received a threatening message sent through an untraceable social account, warning her not to show up in that courtroom unless she wanted to be next. The message? A single photo of a gravestone with no name. Terrified, Brielle reportedly requested to withdraw from the case, or at the very least, delay her appearance until safety could be guaranteed. But prosecutors pushed back. They believed she was the key, the potential turning point, the witness who could connect dots that no one else could. Now her testimony is in limbo, and the courtroom is once again shrouded in uncertainty. Outside the legal system, tensions in the city reached a boiling point. Fans began organizing rallies in support of Mo3, demanding movement in the case. One local activist said during a vigil, "We've been patient, we've been quiet. But this silence ain't peace, it's betrayal. Mo3's death ain't been answered for, and people playing games with justice." Posters reading "Number Justice for Mo3" started appearing across Dallas. Murals of Mo3 were painted over with messages like "Still Waiting" and "The Streets Remember." And then one more crack hit Beezy's image, this time from within his own team. A former assistant, fired months before the current drama, took to TikTok and dropped a bombshell. They all knew something was coming. That court date wasn't a surprise. They was planning how to spin it before the obituary was even printed. She claimed Beezy had already drafted multiple statements, one for if he attended the hearing and one for if he missed it. She even alleged that his team had considered leaning into grief as a PR tactic to soften public perception. That allegation sent the internet into a frenzy. Speaking head, they using his mom's death as a PR move. Speaking head, if true, this beyond disrespectful. Speaking head, this story gets darker by the hour. And in the middle of all this, a new development slipped through the cracks. Court records revealed a sealed subpoena issued to a cell phone carrier tied to a burner number used on the night of Mo3's death. While the number had never been publicly linked to Yella Beezy, the subpoena was reportedly aimed at uncovering any call history between the number and a known associate of Beezy's, someone who had since gone off-grid. Even more damning, that same burner number had pinged near Mo3's location hours before the fatal shooting, then shut off minutes after news of the murder hit social media. The implications? Heavy. Legal analysts started speculating that if the number could be tied back to Beezy's circle, it would change everything, from speculation to potential indictment. One legal commentator said on a live YouTube stream, "Right now, Beezy is skating on plausible distance. The moment they connect any direct line of communication to that night, especially digital, it becomes a whole new case." And Beezy's silence, still deafening. The only public activity from his camp in recent days was a quiet deletion of several Instagram posts, some of them featuring throwback photos with Mo3, others with mutual friends who have since distanced themselves. Fans caught it instantly. Speaking head deleting history don't erase guilt. Speaking head he know the heat coming, he cleaning house. Speaking head the rebrand attempt is desperate, but rebranding won't change what's already unraveling. Multiple sources now believe that Mo3's estate may be preparing to file a civil suit tied to wrongful death and conspiracy, citing years of harassment, threats, and dangerous escalation between the two artists before Mo3's murder. And guess who may be listed as a co-defendant? You guessed it, Beezy. That civil case, if filed, wouldn't require criminal proof, just preponderance of evidence. Meaning, if even some of these whispers can be legally backed, Beezy could face serious financial and reputational fallout, even if he avoids prison. Now, with the next court hearing inching closer and no official date released to the public, the pressure is building. People want answers, people want movement, and most of all, people want justice. But in a city where rap is life and life can end over a song, silence has become its own weapon. And Yella Beezy? He's running out of places to hide behind it. The city was already holding its breath, but the minute news broke about a possible unreleased Mo3 track, everything shifted. Not just because it was his voice from beyond the grave, but because insiders whispered that the lyrics might contain coded truths, references, names, dates. And if what Mo3 said in this unreleased song connected with everything else unraveling around Yella Beezy, it could flip the entire narrative on its head. It started when a mysterious producer known only as Ace posted a cryptic tweet, "That last Mo3 session, y'all really not ready for what he left behind." Nobody took it seriously at first. But then Ace dropped a clip, just 15 seconds of Mo3 humming over a beat in a tone way more serious than his usual melodic vibe. The caption simply said, "When you know they plotting, you record your truth." Fans flooded the replies. Speaking head, where is the full song? Speaking head, why now? Why this week? Speaking head, is this the one where he speaks on the fallout with Beezy? Within hours, rumors swirled that Mo3 had recorded a vault song, fully mixed, never released, where he allegedly aired out everything. His paranoia, his enemies, his regrets, and most chillingly, a warning about what was coming. Multiple people who claim to have heard the track said there's a verse where Mo3 says, "If I'm gone and they smiling, just know who shook my hand last. I seen the text, I heard the plot, I kept receipts but left the shot. Bars like that don't just hit, they stab." And now, the track was being described as Mo3's digital diary, a posthumous confession in rhythm. But here's where things went next level. Someone from Beezy's old camp, a former assistant engineer, spoke anonymously in a podcast and dropped this bombshell. Mo3 didn't trust nobody in the end. He thought the industry was trying to shut him up. So he started writing stuff down. Notes, voice memos, studio rants. He said, "They ain't gonna twist my story after I'm gone." And according to him, Mo3 kept a handwritten journal locked away in a storage unit under someone else's name, possibly a cousin's. The engineer claimed Mo3 would write down names, incidents, screenshots of threats he received, and even snippets of lyrics he never put in songs because they were too real to drop while breathing. One of the most chilling lines allegedly found in the journal. "They smiling now, but the courtroom gonna change all that. I just hope God let my mama outlive the truth." Fans were stunned. Speaking head, he knew they were coming. Speaking head, Beezy better pray that journal never sees daylight. Speaking head, why wasn't this brought up sooner? As pressure mounted, Beezy's legal team suddenly shifted strategy. Instead of silence, they leaked a private phone call Beezy had made with a friend from behind the walls of his inner circle. The goal, damage control. In the call, Beezy sounded calm but pressed. You could hear the desperation in his voice, even as he tried to stay composed. "They painting me like a villain 'cause I ain't fold. I ain't had nothing to do with that night, man. But every time they need a face, they pull mine." The friend on the other end said, "You gotta say something soon, bro. They not just spinning the block, they spinning the narrative." But Beezy's reply is what got people talking. "I ain't saying nothing till the courtroom force me to, 'cause speaking don't help when the city already made up its mind." That phone call dropped like a bomb. Some said it was proof Beezy was maintaining innocence. Others said it reeked of guilt, of someone trying to delay the inevitable. But what came next turned theory into something dangerously real. Mo3's mother, who had been relatively quiet through most of the drama, finally broke her silence in a sit-down interview with a local radio host known for covering Dallas hip-hop history. Her voice trembled but never cracked, her message clear. My son wasn't perfect, but he didn't deserve to be hunted, and if people think I'm gonna just pray and forget, they got the wrong mother, she continued. I know who was around him in the end. I know who texted him that morning. I know who stopped answering calls right after the news broke. And when this next hearing comes, I'll be sitting in the front row. That declaration brought everyone back to reality. Because behind the social media posts, the court dates, the leaks, and the distractions, a mother lost her son. And that pain was turning into purpose. But the courtroom wasn't the only place heating up. The streets were talking louder than ever. Unreleased Mo3 lyrics were surfacing in pieces. Blog pages were receiving anonymous emails with alleged diary pages. And a burner account claiming to be a truth archivist started teasing full documents, including receipts of cash transfers, screenshots of threatening messages, and a photo of a meetup between an associate of Beezy's and an unnamed man wearing a ski mask outside a gas station weeks before Mo3's murder. No one could confirm the photo's authenticity, but fans didn't care. Speaking head, where there's smoke, there's betrayal. Speaking head, Beezy got too many people around him hiding their hands. Speaking head, he missed that court date cause he knew what was coming. And then Brielle reappeared. Not in court, not in an interview, but in a voice memo sent anonymously to a journalist. In it, she sounded shaken, hesitant, but certain. They told me I'd be safe, that if I told the truth, it would help, but now? I'm not sure anyone wants the truth. She went on to say, I didn't see what happened, but I saw what led to it. I heard what was being said when the mics were off, and I read what he sent to someone hours before the shots rang out. The journalist asked her to clarify. She didn't, she just ended with this, I'm tired of being scared, but I'm not ready to die telling the truth. That line ripped through the blogs like lightning, because if Brielle, the one person who was allegedly willing to testify, had now backed out again, that meant whatever she knew. It was that dangerous. And with a potential civil suit, an unreleased track, a missing journal, and a whole city begging for justice, the final court showdown is shaping up to be unlike anything Dallas rap has ever seen. Because in the end, this was never just about Yella Beezy missing a court date. It was about a death that rocked a city, a silence that got too loud, and a truth that refuses to stay buried. So here we are. After court delays, cryptic posts, leaked voice memos, and a city drowning in silence, one thing is crystal clear. Mo3's story isn't over, and neither is Yella Beezy's. A missed court date might have seemed like a footnote, but when layered with death, industry cover-ups, and the reappearance of long-lost voices, it transformed into something deeper. A symbol of a city torn between grief, loyalty, and truth. From Brielle's shaken voice memo to the unreleased Mo3 track said to contain coded bars, from sealed burner phone records to the diary Mo3 may have left behind, the weight of what hasn't been said is heavier than what has. And with the next court hearing looming, the entire Dallas rap scene is holding its breath, waiting to see who folds, who speaks, and who disappears next. But beyond the drama, the tension, and the whispers, a mother still mourns. Fans still replay Mo3's lyrics looking for answers, and somewhere in the shadows, someone knows the full truth but hasn't said it. Not yet. So now we ask you, do you believe Yella Beezy's absence was coincidence or calculated? Is Brielle the key to unraveling this case? And what do you think Mo3 would say if you were here to watch this all unfold? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we need to hear from you. Like this video if you're still seeking justice. Subscribe for exclusive updates because the next chapter is coming fast, and trust us, the courtroom isn't the only place where the truth is about to explode. This is deeper than rap, this is legacy, and the streets, they never forget.